weight loss, body composition, and mastering the art of rocking the body you've always deserved and dreamed of in midlife and beyond. Let's cut through the noise. Society tells us it's downhill from now on. We're told to embrace the middle-aged weight gain, embrace the muscle loss and poor health. If that's your vibe, then cool. But if you're ready to defy the narrative, then I am your gal. This podcast is a no-fluff podcast where we break down the essential truths of body composition, toss around some practical tips, and dissect the latest trends. I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm here to show you what's not just possible, but downright probable for you. If you enjoy this content, be sure to click the link in the show notes to explore how we can team up and kick mediocrity to the curb. I offer one-on-one coaching, my ever-popular group coaching programs, and my corporate Educate to Elevate program. Okay, let's get on with the podcast. Enjoy. Loose skin. I might have done a podcast on this already, so forgive me if I have, but this subject has come up twice this week because I am coaching my Muscle Month program. And the people in that group, yes, we're here to build muscle and lose fat. And they are obviously concerned, especially the ladies as they're getting a little older, and they're seeing their skin get loose around their muscles. It's super frustrating. And I am asked continuously, what can you do about loose skin? Well, yes, hydration, build muscle. Right at the top. But if you've been down the rabbit hole of anti-aging skincare, you've probably heard the whisper or a full-blown hype regarding GHK-Cu. GHK-Cu, also known as copper peptide, this little blue molecule has been shown to tighten loose skin, improve elasticity, reduce wrinkles, and even support wound healing. But how does it actually work? How should you use it? And what results can you expect? So today I want to talk about GHK-Cu. It does a lot of things, but today I want to focus on aging and sagging skin and what the science really says. This is a product that I take both topically and I take in injection form. I'll put a link in the show notes to a YouTube video I did about the injectable form. I'm not suggesting it, I'm not advising it. I literally just made the video for my clients, but I will share it with my podcast. I'll share the link with my podcast listeners as well, because I really, really love GHK-Cu. So what is it? When was it discovered? So GHK-Cu, or glycyl histidyl lysine copper, is a naturally occurring copper binding peptide. It was discovered in about, I think, 1973 by a Dr. Lauren Pickard. And he was studying the aging process in human plasma. He noticed that young people had significantly higher levels of this peptide. And it seemed to have like a regenerative tissue healing properties. So he was intrigued. So in the body, GHK-Cu plays a role in wound healing, tissue remodeling, and even gene expression, especially the ones related to collagen and elastin production. There are over 4,000, I think, human genes that are influenced positively by GHK-Cu, including the ones involved in repairing DNA, suppressing inflammation, and rebuilding the skin's structure. Excuse me, I'm sniffing away here. So let's talk about aging skin. So aging skin typically loses collagen, elastin, hydration, and structural integrity. You know, loose skin that feels thin, crepey, just plain tired, and GHK can help reverse this by increasing collagen and elastin synthesis. It does it by promoting angiogenesis, excuse me, which is more blood vessels. If you have more blood vessels, you have better nutrient delivery. It reduces inflammation. It tightens and firms the skin, and it improves skin thickness and density. Now, I am English, and it's not just the English, but English ladies are prone to thin skin. And that is definitely one of my issues. And improving skin thickness was a primary concern of mine when I first started looking into GHKCU, which was maybe 2 or more years ago. So in clinical studies, topical application of GHKCU has been shown to increase skin firmness, reduce fine lines, and improve skin clarity and tone. I mean, there was a study in the late 1980s. It was published by the International Journal of Cosmetic Science. And that study found that GHKCU cream outperformed vitamin C and retinoic acid in increasing skin thickness and reducing wrinkles. And, vitamin C and retinoic acid are kind of the prime tools used for thickness and reducing wrinkles. GHKCU also helps remodel scar tissue. Things like hyaluronic acid that keeps your skin plump and hydrated, it kind of works along the same way. And a personal story there is when I first started taking GHKCU, the very first thing I noticed was this hydration of my skin. So what I found myself doing, and it's funny because I'm actually doing it this moment, I hadn't realized, is I am, like the old miser who rubs his hands together and his fingers rub the outside of his hand, the top of your hand. I find myself rubbing my fingers over the top of my hands a lot. And at first I was like, what on earth am I doing? And then I realized it was because the skin on the tops of my hand was feeling so smooth that I was rubbing my fingers across it. And I was like, oh, wow, that is why I'm doing it. And then the other thing I noticed was when I was in the shower, and I live in Idaho, and even though we have a soft water treatment throughout the whole house, we still have pretty hard water, so it can leave your skin rather dry. And I noticed when I got into the shower that when the water hit my body, it just kind of slid off. It was almost like, it felt like, imagine covering yourself in body lotion and then getting in the shower and you feel like that slickness on your skin. Well, that's what my skin felt like. And I was like, well, that's random. And they're just the two of the first things I noticed when I started using GHKCU. So there are 3 primary ways to use it. The topical creams and serums. This is the most common and obviously the easiest method. So it's popular in a lot of beauty products. Guys, if you go onto Amazon and put in copper peptide, I'll put a link in the show notes, but there's a great product I use every day. It costs $30. Look for the concentration of around 0.05 to 0.5%. If you apply that once or twice daily on clean skin, that is a great way to start. It's also a good idea to prime the skin first. So, if you do microneedling, so I do microneedling, I love to do that. You can do microneedling with GHKCU serum. For those, if you want a deeper penetration, microneedling followed by GHKCU application shows the peptide to reach deeper skin layers. And it can have maybe a faster, more dramatic result. I mean, I guess you could even use one of those little home skin rollers and apply GHKCU after that. But basically, you need a little bit of exfoliation if you're going to use it, for it to be the most effective. So that's the topical creams and serums. Look for that concentration, 0.05 to 0.5%, and use it on clean skin, ideally a little bit of exfoliation. Then there's the injectable or transdermal delivery. So GHKCU can also be compounded for subcutaneous intradermal injection. This is often a more aggressive anti-aging approach, also used in regenerative protocols. It is not FDA approved for injection. So I am meant to tell you right now, this should be done only under professional guidance. Well, I do it under my own professional guidance, so go figure. But I do have to say that it is not FDA approved for injection. Should get professional guidance, at least be your own health advocate. Don't just listen to this podcast, go do some research. But yes, it's a more aggressive approach. And that is what I personally do. I don't do it every day. I do it probably 3, 4, 5, honestly, it's when I remember, 3, 4, 5 times a week. And then that is, although I'll tell you, that topical one I use from Amazon, I noticed immediately, my skin is clearer immediately with that stuff. But the injectable, personal choice. So let's talk about how to use it. So for topical application, you don't really need that much. A pea-sized amount is enough for your face. For microneedling, you'd apply maybe 1 or 2 mils right across the treated area. A result, within 2 to 4 weeks, you might notice an improved hydration, smoother skin texture. 4 to 8 weeks, the skin starts to get firmer and more resilient. And maybe within 3 months, you're going to get a visible improvement of elasticity, fine lines, and sagging. I would say for the skin sagging, that sweet spot is more like a couple of months. So consistency is the key. It's not going to work overnight, but with daily use, especially paired with healthy skin habits, taking a collagen product, staying hydrated, you can produce measurable, visible improvements over just really a little bit of time. Now, a couple of things to notice here, to take note of here, I should say. A few caveats. Copper sensitivity is a real thing. A small number of people may experience skin irritation when, especially with the injectable form, but also with the topical form, especially if overused or used with harsh ingredients like acids and retinol, sorry. So start slow, and obviously best to do a patch test first. I personally, the topical, no issue at all. The injectable, I did have a copper sensitivity. I discussed this in my YouTube video, and the injection site was very painful for about a day. I was taken by surprise. I simply took an antihistamine with it the next time and had zero sensitivity. I've now been taking GHKCU for quite a while, and I don't need to take the antihistamine. My body's completely fine with the copper. I think it was just the first few initial times that I took it. There's some thought about cycling GHKCU, and I actually do this. So some users and some practitioners recommend cycling it. So 3 months on, 1 month off. This is based on the idea that long-term high copper exposure could interfere with zinc balance, or that cellular receptors might downgrade over time. That's a legit concern. The research is really not definitive on that, but it's a precaution that I choose to take. So I will go maybe 2 months. I'll use 2 bottles and I'll take a month or so off. And honestly, generally, I just forget to reorder it. I definitely do cycle it because of the idea, and it is an idea, it's not been proved, of the long-term high exposure to copper. And again, you don't want to be doing mega doses of this. So let's go back a little bit. In 1988, the study showed that GHKCU increased skin thickness and reduced wrinkles better than retinoic acid. The 2009 study in rejuvenation research showed that GHK-Cu improved skin elasticity, density, and reduced the signs of photo damage. I've got my studies in front of me. The 2015 gene expression study showed that GHK-Cu activated genes involved in wound healing, anti-inflammation, and anti-cancer pathways. Go figure that. In short, GHK-Cu is not snake oil. This peptide has serious science behind it. So should you try it? If you're dealing with sagging, loose, or thinning skin, especially with age, GHK-Cu is one of the most promising topical ingredients out there. Whether you go for a serum, a microneedling protocol, professional delivery, it can be a powerful ally in your skincare arsenal. As with anything, consistency, patience, and the quality of the products matter. Do a patch test if you're doing topical, and maybe this is something you want to include. Now, I should also have said that if you do use a GHK-Cu topically, don't do it close to a retinol or a vitamin C because they'll kind of cancel each other out. So myself, and I am certainly not a skincare expert, but when I get in the morning, I do use a little exfoliant on my face. I put the GHK-Cu serum on my face. Then I go about my day, I make my coffee, I do a few things, and then I come back and I put my vitamin C and my moisturizer on top. So don't layer them at the same time. You can layer them, but there has to be a few hours in between. So again, this is for information only. I understand that loose skin is a real frustration, especially when people are working really hard and getting great results with other health body composition protocols, but that loose skin is letting them down. Where do I get the injectable GHK-Cu from, which is not FDA approved? I have to repeat that. I get mine from Peptide Science. It comes in a 50 ml bottle. The dose is about 1.25 per injection, so that bottle lasts me about a month. Again, I'll put a video in the show notes with regard to that. But hopefully this is helpful. Now, if you don't want to go down this route, or if you find you have a sensitivity to copper, maybe there's something in your medical history that you should not take copper. Some people should not. Then what else can you do? Collagen, absolutely well studied. We know about it. The one I like, I don't particularly like the chocolate and unflavored collagen. I use the lemon one by the lemonade or lemon one by Vital Proteins, and I put that in my water. I love that stuff. It's a little bit tart. I love it. So I use that. Hydration. You can do all you want for your skin, but if you are not drinking enough water, then the skin is going to look more aged. And then, you can get into your hyaluronic acid, your retinols, and all those good things. But it does start with the basic building blocks of skin, water and collagen. I hope that helped. The next podcast is going to be on, I wrote it in my notes somewhere. Where is it? I believe it. Muscle loss with age, but it's with a special twist to it. So anyway, watch out for that coming next. As ever, if you have any questions, you can always message me at my email, Joanne. Sorry, it's Joe. Joe at theshrinkshop.com. That is the best way to get in touch with me. My programs, I'm running Muscle Month right now, but all my programs are available in evergreen format. So pop over to the Shrink Shop and see all the programs I have to offer. But if you have a a body composition question, if you have like, because I can help you in a lot of ways. I do one-on-one coaching. I have 6 programs. I'm writing another 2. I have, so many ways to help, but it depends on your specific goal or concern. So if you want to shoot me an email and tell me, what your specific concern is, then I can tell you the best way that I can help you. So again, joe@theshrinkshop.com, and I hope you found this podcast on GHKCU interesting, fascinating,